Welcome to the full stack MERN application series where we're going to be building a complete blog website using the most popular MERN stack. So web development refers to basically creating, building, and maintaining a website. It includes aspects such as web design, publishing, web programming, and database management. We're going to be doing all of this within the series. One of the most famous stack that is used for web development is MERN stack. This stack provides an end-to-end framework for the developers to work in, and each of these technologies play a big part in the development of web applications. So you can see over here we have HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. We're going to be using React with it, and then we're going to be using Node, and we're going to also be using Express, and then MongoDB, and then finally we're going to connect and deploying it on Git. So essentially we're going to be doing all of this and also deploy it online. So this is the series, and we're going to be making a blog application which is going to have a lot of features and functionalities. So suppose what we're going to go do is we're going to first of all go to a folder, create a folder in your desktop. I'd recommend here, and just call it projects, and inside you'll have MERN-blog, and then inside you'll go and open it up in VS Code. Over here what you could do is open up a terminal, and the only thing that we need to do right now is npm create, and we'll have at latest. So like this, I believe you already have npm and node installed. So what we're going to do is we need to install the following packages. We'll say create vite. It's going to give you the most recent one. We're going to say yes. Vite project, we're going to just call it as client because this is going to be the front end, and we're also going to be choosing React here, and we're also going to be using JavaScript plus SWC compiler because it's fast. Then now it's installed, you could see CD and everything is there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go inside the client, and inside here what we're going to do is we're going to npm I install all the packages, what you'll see in the package.json right now. So inside over here, but you look here, we'll have a lot of dependencies like React version 18 something, so higher than 18, and then we'll have React DOM and dev dependencies. So to install all of this and have the node_modules so folder, you'll have to do this. So npm I, when I do this, you'll see that we'll have all of these installed one by one, and it will contain it in a folder which is called node_modules. So 1 second, after all of this is done, we're going to npm run dev, and we'll see the results. So yes, exactly that we've been doing in the other videos in my channel. I've been building a lot of full stack applications, and I thought let's do another one. So MongoDB, non-relational database, and then we have Express, which is a NodeJS web server, and then we have React, which is JavaScript front-end framework, and then we have Node, which is a JavaScript web server. And over here we know that how MERN stack works. We have a React.js web, so we have a front end, and then this is the server backend, which has NodeJS and basically a framework on top of it, which is Express, communicates with the React front end, and the database is also linked with the NodeJS backend, and you basically communicate through that. So this is the entire philosophy here, and this is how it works. And essentially, it gives you the roadmap here to use to basically become a good MERN stack developer. So initially, I would recommend you should know basics of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Learn React, which is a front-end library for building user interfaces. I have so many videos here on my channel. And then you could see learn Node.js, which is JavaScript runtime environment. Also, you're going to learn all of that here. And learn Express.js, a framework built upon Node.js to simplify the process of creating web application and API building. So this is also going to be taught. And learn MongoDB, NoSQL database to store and retrieve data from database. So essentially, it gives you the whole guideline here. It's just amazing. And what we're basically going to do now is you could see that npm I actually installed everything, and it normally doesn't take that much time. It's not that slow. So npm run, and then we have dev. If I do this, you'll see there's this thing running. So if I click on this, you'll see that we have this thing. So essentially there's this React, Vite plus React, you have this counter, and we basically want to remove all of this boilerplate. So what we're going to do is we could put this on the side right here, and we can put this code over here. Now essentially this is what we have, right? And what you want to do is you want to go to install Tailwind CSS, okay? Because we need that. So we'll go here into the new tab, and we'll go Tailwind CSS, CSS.com, okay? So when we're here, we'll go to the docs right here, and then over here we'll go to the framework guides, and in here we're going to go and select for Vite, fast and modern web, fast and modern development server and build tool. Click on Vite. So right here you can see this is the steps that we need to follow. So first you create your project. What we already did is npm create at latest, right? We created our project, and then they also gave their project name, right? But we just said client right after that, and then we cd'd inside our client project. After that we have to install Tailwind CSS. So install Tailwind CSS and its peer dependencies, then generate your tailwind.config.js and post css.config.js files. So basically first you have to install Tailwind CSS and its peer dependencies using this command, which is npm install -d Tailwind CSS post css and auto prefixer. Just going to copy this, and we're going to go back here, and you can see when I open up the terminal again, I have to turn it off. I'm going to make sure I'm in the client, and I'm going to right click, and you can see npm install -d Tailwind CSS post css and auto prefixer. These are basically the other peer dependencies that we need. Then we have to generate tailwind.config.js and post css.config.js files using this command, which is npx tailwind css init-p. When I do this, you'll see that that's actually done, but you didn't actually get any of these files that they were talking about, right? But when you do this command, which is this one, and you press enter, and now you can see these files have been created, which is create a tailwind css config file, tailwind.config.js, which is right here. And then you could also see created post css config file, and we have which is post css.config.js, which is right here. Great. So we have to modify tailwind.config.js. So I'll show you how to do that as well. So what we're going to do is the next step, which is configure your template paths. So add the paths to all of your template files in your tailwind.config.js file. So it says basically where you have export default, right? You want to have this content, and inside this content you want to modify everything, including the index.html as well as the source folder, having all of these extensions, JS, which is basically JavaScript, TypeScript, and then React, JSX, and then TypeScript using React. So what we basically want to do is we want to modify all of those files, and whenever they're basically having some Tailwind tags, you want to basically use Tailwind on them. That's essentially what it means. So you go here, you see this tailwind.config.js, and in the content side, which is right here, you just override it with this list. So basically I'm gonna save that, and we're good to go, I guess. And everything else seems okay, and we could go and now add the Tailwind directives to your CSS. So add Tailwind directives for each of Tailwind's layers to your source index.css file. So we're just gonna go to the source folder again, copy that, and I'm gonna go to the index.css file, and right here I'm just gonna remove this existing one and just paste this one. So you can see add Tailwind base, add Tailwind components, and add Tailwind utilities. Great. So now once we have done that, you can see start your build process, and then it says run your build process with npm run dev. But before that, I want to actually test it by doing some of the following. I'm going to go to the source folder, and I see that there's the app.css. I'm just going to immediately delete this one because I don't need this. So I'm going to remove. Okay, I'm going to remove that. I'm going to go to the public folder, and there's a v.svg. You could just remove that as well. Okay, and the same thing goes for the assets. So if you go to public, we have assets, and we have the react.svg. These are basically images. So we no longer need those. Okay, so if you go to the index.html file over here, you can see that there's essentially this link that talks about that vite.svg. You could just remove that. You could also change this from Vite plus React to MERN blog, like that. Okay, and what you want to do is you basically want to go to the app.jsx file, which is going to be in the source, and you can see right here. Okay, so you could just basically remove this entire thing, and you could use rafc. Now I have this extension. It's called React Redux snippet, so I would recommend trying ES7. So this extension is really good. install this to get, you know, those kind of things. So what we're gonna do right here is we have, you know, this export default app, and in here we basically could have a heading, and we could just say, you know, app, like that. Okay. So now that we have that, you essentially could run this application just like it was told to do. So let me just CLS. Okay, and now I could just say, so let me just go up here, and I'll say, well, it's too big. Let's make it a little down. Let's put this on the side. Okay, and then we'll say npm run dev, like that. Run this application. You can see it's running. And when you run it, basically you see app right here, which is good. But the problem is that we didn't check how Tailwind is actually configured properly or not. So we're going to use some of the Tailwind classes. So if you go here inside this, you could basically use class name, and then essentially you could give text -3xl. If you do this, this is a Tailwind class. It increases the text, and it just automatically did it when I saved it. The same thing you could do is basically text -red - now you can see all these suggestions that I'm getting. This is also another extension that I'm using, which is used with Tailwind. So 500 text -red -500, and there you go, 500. So this means that Tailwind is working, which is amazing. You may I would recommend having this Tailwind IntelliSense extension as well. So essentially Tailwind CSS IntelliSense. I would recommend installing this extension as well. So basically we're done and good to go, and we can now basically create our routes. So if I go back here, and before my user authentication for this app, I want to have routes for login, right? I want to have route for sign up or sign in, right? So for that, I basically want to log in or sign up. You know, you get what I mean. So basically, I want those kind of routes. To do that, it's super simple. What you're gonna do is you're gonna go inside the source folder, so which is right here, client, public, source, and you basically want to create a pages folder. So essentially what we have is the source folder, okay, and inside here we're gonna have a folder which is right here, and we're gonna say pages. Okay, so the pages folder will contain the following. It will contain an about page, so we could say about.jsx. It could contain dashboard page, dashboard.jsx. It will contain a home page, so home.jsx. It will contain projects page, so projects.jsx. Okay, it's a little different, so we're gonna have to do function F2 to rename it like that, projects.jsx. Okay, and it will contain sign in page, so sign in. So essentially we could have sign, and then we have in.jsx. The last one is sign up. So we could basically create a page over here, and we could say sign up.jsx. Okay, and now over here we could essentially have the text for it. So we're just gonna quickly do rafc, and this is about. Basically could write about here. Dashboard, which is gonna be rafc, and you could just say dashboard. Home, so we have rafc, and we have home. Projects, so rafc and projects. Sign in, so we have rafc, sign in, and then we have sign up, and we have sign up right here. Okay, so that's great. I mean, we have all these pages and we just need to integrate or link them. So we have to go to the app.jsx, right here. And instead of all this, what we want to do is essentially what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to import something here on the top. And this is very important. It's called browser router from React Router DOM. So this is a package that we need to install. So first, let's turn this off, and then we're going to say npm I, and then we have React router DOM. This is good for routing, so that's why we need this. It's very important. Without it, we can't do it. It's a dependency, and what we're going to do is we're going to say import, and we have browser router, okay, and then we have routes, and then we have route, and then essentially we're getting it from React Router DOM, so router, and then we have DOM -DOM like that. Okay, so one other thing that we want to do is we want to import it. So over here you see this app.jsx, right? So it's essentially saying const app, right? What you want to do is you want to return not this div, but essentially you would have like the following. So you have browser router, which is the thing we just imported. Browser router, right? This is closed right here, and in the browser router what you'll do is you'll have routes. So you just imported all this stuff, so routes, and inside the routes you'll have each route like what you want to link. So the first route you'll basically see is the home route, right? Home page. So slash element, you basically put in the thing that you want to basically add. So home, home.jsx, remember that? So you have to close it like this, and then you close it from the top like that. But the basic thing is you need to import it. So go here and say control space and then press enter. You essentially could import it from here, from pages. You can remove this React, you don't need that one, and from here you could just keep moving forward. So first of all you had the route, which is the home one, and now you want to go to the next route, which is the about one. So what you could go is about, and then you could have the element, and then inside of this again you would go and you would have the about page like that, which is about.jsx, right? And in here you would just close it like that, and essentially you would have control and space and then enter. Same thing goes for the other ones, which is route, and then we have path, and then we have sign in, like hyphen sign in, and then we have element again, and then we have this, and then in here we have sign, and then in, and then again slash, and then like that, 1 minute, like this, angle bracket, and then a slash, and then angle bracket. Again, we'll have a next one. I mean, did I add? No. So I'm basically going to add it too. So I'm going to go here, and you'll have control and space and enter. The next thing we have to do is close this, and then we'll have a route again, route, path, and then we'll have dashboard. So dash. Okay, essentially what we want to do is sign in, and then we have sign out, right? Or sign up, sorry. So sign up, and then we'd have element, and then we'll have sign up like that. Okay, and then we'd have this closing and closing like that. Okay, so sign up, and then we'll have control and space and enter, and now we have route, and then we have path, and then equal to / dashboard. So we'd have dashboard, and then would have element, and then would have dashboard BOARD, and then like that, and then would have the closing bracket like this, and press space and enter, and like that. Okay, so I randomly added this. Let me just close that. Control and space and enter. Okay, so how many paths did I write? I mean, let's see, how many were there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have one missing, which is home, about, sign in, projects. So the last one is projects. So what we could do is essentially go and create a projects route again. Oh, right here. So route, and then path. This is our final one. And then we have slash projects, like that. And then we have element, and then we have projects like this, and close it like this, and then we'll have this. Okay, so we could just basically add control space and enter. Okay, we have added our routes successfully, and now we could actually view them if we run our application. npm run dev. Okay, it looks good to go. And if you go and go to this application right here, so essentially it's going to go here. So no utility guides were changed in your source file. This is expected. Double check the content option in your Tailwind CSS. You could just ignore that for now. Right now you're in your home page, so that's why it's coming home. It wasn't coming app. It used to come app before, but now if I go to sign up, it goes to sign up page. If I go to sign in, it goes to the sign in page. If I go to the projects, it goes to the projects page. If I go to the dashboard, so dashboard, BOARD, it goes to the dashboard page. And what else was there? About, and you know, everything seems to work, which is fine and great progress. We're going to create a GitHub repo for this. So let's go and in here, you see this client folder. It normally has a Git file. Let's see. No, it doesn't have one. So what we want to do is you basically could also view hidden items, and you could see if you have a Git one or not. So no, we don't have one, which is great. We want to put this on GitHub. So what we want to do is, first of all, let's go and create a GitHub repo over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go, and essentially I'm going to go to github.com, and I'm going to go to my profile. So right here, I'm going to go in this plus button, new repository, and what we're going to do is we're going to say MERN-blog. Okay, this is the name. Description, you could give it MERN app using Tailwind CSS, and then in here we have public repo and create repository. In the meantime, what you could do here, you could basically put it on the side, and now go back to your application, which is right here. It's running. It doesn't really matter if it's running or off. What you want to do is you want to go and put it in the CMD. Well, you're essentially in the MERN blog, right? If you go and on Windows, I could see I'm in the client, you know, where that folder is, the root folder. You basically have to be in this root folder, which is right here. Okay, so you're in this root folder, and what you want to do now is you want to make an initialization for your Git. So basically you could say git init, and now you initialize the Git. After that, you want to do is you want to add everything. So you could say git add. Okay, and this would add everything. Okay, next what you want to do is you want to follow these steps. So you want to commit something. So yeah, git commit -m, and then we can say first commit, like that. Okay, so that's there. After that, you want to do is you want to add the following. You want to add this line, which is right here. Let me just add that and put this on the side. Okay, so you want to add the following line. You want to add git remote. So you could either do, well, let's just follow this. So now we're going to branch it. So we're going to make a branch. So git branch -m. This is my code, so it's going to be in the main branch. And then we have git remote add origin, and then main origin, and then we basically put our URL, which we want to match. Essentially, you're supposed to have the GitHub CLI added on your computer, and that is super easy with global states. I mean, you have to just change your email username, and you could easily do that process, and I already have that done for me. After that, what you want to do is git push -u, and then origin, and then we have main. Press enter. Should upload everything on GitHub. Refresh this page, and you have client folder, and in here you have all the code.